As schools gradually reopen, scholar transport services have been requested to register themselves. Gauteng Transport MEC Jacob Mamabolo has cautioned unregistered operators to comply with COVID-19 regulations or face the law. It comes after the department issued a notice to all operators through their various associations to register with the department by today. To discuss this and other issues, I'm joined now by the MEC. MEC Mamabolo, good evening and thank you for your time. In the spirit of safety first, as our learners return back to school, in terms of private scholar transport, how many are in the system?
Well, firstly, let me say that, and good evening and thanks for the opportunity and to all the viewers. I must say that as the provincial government in Gauteng, we are quite confident about the level of preparations we have made for scholar transport to support the reopening of schools. And this is because if we were to compare where we come from with scholar transport that is basically being operating in a most self-regulatory way, not known, not registered, just dropping learners at school. As we speak, we have registered, and these are the numbers of yesterday, 3,500 scholar transport operators have registered with us. Many more came today because there are things that we needed from the schools to be able to register them, because you can imagine having scholar transport drop-in learners not known to anyone. So we needed to build that relationship between scholar transport operators, the schools, and then of course ourselves. This is important so that we know each other. We can provide sanitizers, disinfectants for vehicles, and any other form of support that is required. So to that extent, the fact that for the first time, scholar transport operators are coming forward to say, this is who we are, register us, let's work together. I think that's a groundbreaking and very positive development, because now for the first time, we can work together to make sure every learner is accounted for, every vehicle is known, registered with us, and to that extent, we are going to give them stickers, which will make them easily identifiable on the roads. And I'm quite sure that we will be able, even for purposes of track and trace, if there was to be a learner infected, track and trace will be easy, because unlike at any time before, we now know scholar transport operators.
Now there are some scholar transport operators who are infuriated, MEC, at the lack of support. I want you to respond to that when we come back from the break, because I'm going to bring them in as well, just to get the sense of what are they frustrated about in terms of your response in support of what they do during this pandemic. MEC, please do stay with us. We'll continue with the MEC, and we'll be joined also by the scholar transport coordinator on their grievances when the Newsfeed Late Night continues. Back with you on the newsfeed late night with MEC Jacob Mamabolo, Gauteng MEC for Public Transport and Road Infrastructure. MEC, so back to our conversation then. The scholar transported lamenting the fact that they are getting no support from province at this particular point, even national, as far as recognition of the work that they're doing, but also recognition of the challenges that they're facing. How are you supporting those who are now registered, 3,500 of them?
So yes, let me acknowledge that historically and before we made a call to register them, there's no way that they would have received any support, precisely because they were operating without, except that some of them and very few of them will be registered with us for the operating licenses, but many of them know they are operating illegally, and to that extent it would have been difficult to provide any support. Those who have come forward, they will receive, number one, a free bottle of a sanitizer to sanitize the hands of the learners. They will receive a free bottle of a disinfectant. This is basically making sure that you clean the vehicle after every trip. Those two things are basically what they need in order to make sure that they meet the basic requirements of health and hygiene to combat and prevent the spread of COVID-19. The Department of Education is providing masks, and that will actually make sure that every learner has a mask, and we were in schools today, we have seen clearly that. Yeah. So those are the things that, and of course, they will also work with us to make sure that they can enforce the required passenger load inside the vehicle. Yeah. And lastly, the relationship we are building now is a relationship that will give us what can be called the new normal, in the sense that at least for the first time, we will work together, we will be partners, and the fact that they've not been engaged properly, they've not had a platform to discuss, because they've just been dropping learners and go, and that's how it has been operating. Yeah. Now, they've got a door to knock at. We can now sit around the table. Let me also just say tomorrow, we have an appointment with GETS. GETS is the Gauteng Education Transport Services. We met with them, myself and MEC Lesufi. I'm meeting with them tomorrow. I'm told they're the biggest association organizing private scholar transport in the province. Right. So for the first time, they will have a door to knock on and be given an opportunity to have a discussion about any matter.
So at a lower level, that's the request, the terms of PPE support and making sure that they're supported. But at a higher level, what they are calling for are subsidies and an allocation for a relief fund for them as well.
I can assure you that is actually the biggest problem, because when myself and MEC Lesufi met with them on the 29th, if I'm not wrong, it was a Friday, the last Friday in May. When we met with them, it was around 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the Department of Education. One issue they raised was 70% load. And they did clearly say, some of them even said they are not willing to operate at that carrying capacity level because they are going to make losses. And they then demanded from us that we must make provision for relief. And we did make it very clear that matters of relief for all businesses that are affected by COVID-19 are dealt with at national. The president has announced, set up 500 billion. And even in the province, we do have an SMME portal on which they can register. But the essential point is this: the relief, the package that they need in order to uplift their business activities, those are available to any business person who says COVID-19 has affected us. We are not dealing with that in the province. And we have really said to them, we understand their situation. And let me also just say, if you look at the taxi industry as a quick benchmark, when alert level 5 started, and there was no interprovincial travel, and with 70%, we had the same issue. But we moved on with the taxi industry because they understood we are under COVID-19 conditions. It will not be possible to make money like you used to. The profit margins are almost zero. You may even operate in certain instances under your normal cost. To that extent, government has understood that, and it has created the structures. You just apply, fill in the documents, submit, and we even said to them, if they feel that their applications are not being given a fair chance, they're not being well received, they are not being given the opportunity, we can even look at how to support them in that process, because what they are raising is a national policy matter, both on 70% passenger load and on the relief they are seeking. But we mustn't take those two issues and make them affect a very good opportunity we are putting on the table to say, let's have a relationship. If the taxi industry could understand that we are supporting essential services under conditions of a lockdown and try to comply, they are dealing with innocent kids. They are dealing with a very, I can say, very vulnerable constituency. We would understand if they were to first to say, let's protect the lives. Government, give us the stickers, give us support. Let's work together and protect the future of the country. That's how we think we can build a long-lasting solution and relationship moving forward. Just the last point. They've not had any proper functioning relationship with government. Now we are putting it on the table.